So the last time that I made a video celebrating the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 era, YouTube decided it wasn't suitable for advertisers. So naturally, we're doing it again. Here are even more hidden details from the greatest generation of consoles, starting with Batman Arkham Asylum. Now, Arkham Asylum takes place over the course of one night, which keeps the story moving along at a nice pace. I mean, given the amount of scrapes that Batman gets into during his time at the asylum, it should be of no surprise that come the end of the night, his suit is looking a little worse for wear. But did you know that there is a more subtle way that the game shows that time has passed? You see, here is Batman's face at the beginning of the game, and along with a jawline that could slice bread, he has a freshly shaven look going on. Well, as you approach the end of the game, that freshly shaven look has been replaced with some very noticeable stubble. Now, some of you may question how this growth happened in just one night, but given that Batman is basically a walking mountain of testosterone, I'm not surprised. So most video games handle leveling up the same way. You fill a bar up with experience points, which then grant you a skill point, which you then spend on upgrading your character's abilities. But Oblivion did something much cleverer. You see, sometimes games actually increase your skills depending on your style of play, meaning that if you like to use one-handed weapons and magic, those skills will naturally improve the more you use them in-game, which is really cool. One such game was Oblivion, and the skill system in that game was so good that you didn't even need to perform the skill to level up. You see, if you were to watch two people fight at the arena, this would happen. So watching the two NPC spar would cause your hand-to-hand combat skill to increase, which is extremely clever. Like I said, I know that skill trees have their place in modern games, but actually rewarding players on how they choose to play is something that I think is genius. Now, when you think of hidden details worth remembering from the 7th generation of consoles, I'm betting that a lot of people wouldn't expect to see a yearly sports franchise mentioned. But here we are. Madden 10 is another Madden game, and as someone who isn't particularly interested in American football, I can confirm that it's another game in the long-running series that lets you play America's favourite sport. With that being said, there is something special about Madden 10 that I personally think is hilarious. If you score over 108 points, this message will appear.
To get into the end zone.
Ben Roethlisberger hides the ball so well, so many times I've watched on tape.
So apparently, if you score over 108 points, the game might break. And don't just take my word for it, the game itself politely asks you to stop scoring for that very reason. Now, scoring 108 points was hard enough, so I wasn't about to push my luck, but I'm pretty sure that the game doesn't break if you keep on scoring. But it's a funny message nonetheless. So aura farming is one of those phrases that I feel like I'm too old to say, even ironically.
How do you do, fellow kids?
But if I was given a pass for just one day where I could use the phrase without feeling like an unk, I would definitely use it to describe this next detail. Vanquish is a fast-paced third-person shooter that sees you darting in and out of cover while sliding on the floor like 10-year-old me at a school disco. Even though the game encourages movement, and plenty of it, you can still take cover when things get a little too crazy. And it's when in cover that you can do this. So your character can light up a cigarette mid-gunfight, which is peak aura farming. Now, I haven't actually played a whole lot of Vanquish. I mean, I've pretty much only played what you're seeing in this video, so I don't know if there's an in-game reason for this or not, but even if there isn't, it's still really cool. Now, long before Insomniac made arguably the greatest Spiderman games ever made, there was a period of time during the 360 and PlayStation 3 era where we got a steady stream of Spider-Man games. But it felt like nobody cared. I mean, judging by the game's prices on the second-hand market today, people definitely care now. Anyway, we all know that Deadpool loves breaking the fourth wall, so naturally Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions lets him interrupt something that most games never touch.
You're pausing on me? You're pausing on me? Well, I'm the only one here. Who do you think you're pausing on?
Now you're pausing just to pause. Admit it, you have a pausing problem. You're a pauseaholic. Okay, Bear walks into a bar, says, "I'll have a lime and soda." Bartender says, "Why the big pause?"
Oh, look at the widow baby with the cute widow pause button.
Right, go ahead and pause whenever it's convenient for you. What about me? What about my needs? You pause too much. You know what? I'm just gonna keep saying this every time you pause now. The writer has more important dialogue to write for this game.
So Deadpool isn't best pleased with you pausing during his big moment. And I love it when games do things like this. Now, stacking is one of those games where if you've never played it, you won't really care about it. But if you have played it, you'll know just how charming this Double Fine developed puzzle game really is. You see, the whole point of stacking is that the world is inhabited by Matryoshka dolls. You know, the dolls that you can open up, and each time you do, it reveals a smaller doll inside. Well, in the game, you are the small doll that can jump inside bigger dolls to control them and use their unique abilities. One of the dolls that you can possess is a giant Kodiak bear on a cruise ship, which sounds like it should be a Samuel L. Jackson movie, but unfortunately, it's not.
I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Anyway, if you do control the bear and try to make the other passengers jump, this will happen. So you can scare the passengers so much that they poop their pants. But given that everyone is made of wood instead of actual poop, they will instead poop sawdust, which I think is brilliant. Now, believe it or not, there was once a time where the Call of Duty campaigns weren't just an afterthought and were actually a crucial part of the game. I mean, those days are of course long gone now, with Activision seemingly more interested in selling us skins based on animated TV shows instead, but those older COD campaigns were brilliant. A particular standout for me was the World at War campaign, which was a brutal and often extremely depressing trip through World War II. And one of the characters that you could meet on this journey was the legendary Viktor Reznov. Now, when you first meet Reznov, you're both playing dead as enemy forces look to deal with any survivors. This doesn't last long, however, and soon Reznov hands you a sniper rifle so that you can take the fight to them. Well, here is how Reznov reacts when you first try and take down the patrolling enemies.
Shoot now! Again! Straight ahead! Watch out! The dog!
The reactions could be quicker, but the job is done.
So, given how close that dog came to tearing our throat out, Reznov is right when he says that we could have been quicker. Here's the interesting part. If you have another go and are much quicker on the trigger, he will say this.
Shoot now! Again! Ha! Straight ahead!
Excellent aim. You are a natural hunter.
So Reznov now calls you a natural hunter, which feels all kinds of awesome. Now, at the beginning of Fallout 3, you're shown enjoying a birthday party with other residents of the Vault. Everyone seems cool enough, except for Butch, who thinks that bullying you at your own party is a smart thing to do. Well, fast forward a few years, and the Vault is thrown into chaos when your dad decides to up and leave. And given that outside is a radioactive wasteland, I think it's safe to say he hasn't gone to get milk. Anyway, as you try to make your own escape to see where dear old dad has got to, you're approached by Butch, who despite trying to beat you up at your own birthday party,
Say uncle! Hello, Officer Gomez. I'm glad you could make it.
I'm glad to be here. I think it's important to keep in touch with the young people, you know, as part of my job. Plus, well, I like parties.
Jonas?
Hey, Doc.
Sure thing,
We're all
Officer
set down
Gomez.
here.
Should have just given me the
Thanks.
sweet.
I'll send him right down.
has the nerve to ask you for help in saving his mum. Now, I'm a firm believer in the whole when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time mentality. But it's not actually Butch that's in danger, it's his mum, which puts me in quite the predicament. Well, and this is something that I didn't know when I first played the game, you can actually give Butch your BB gun that you got from your dad, and tell him to deal with the rad roaches himself.
Wow, where'd you get that? Okay, maybe I can do this. All right, I'm gonna go back in there and kill those damn roaches. Thanks.
What's happening? Ah! Ah! Stop it! Ow, that hurts!
Okay, granted, Butch isn't the best shot in the world, and his mum might have just been better trying to punch her way through the roaches, but giving Butch the chance to save her does mean you have a new best friend, whether you like it or not.
We did it! My mom's gonna be okay! You're the best friend I've ever had, man!
So one of my favourite things to check for hidden details or Easter eggs are the backgrounds of fighting games. You see, most people are concentrating on the action, which is of course the whole point. But that does mean that a lot of things can slip by unnoticed, and a perfect example of that can be seen in Tekken Tag Tournament 2. On the historic town stage, if you wait long enough, this will happen. So that's not something you see every day. A rooster riding a cat, riding a dog, riding a donkey. Now there is a reason for this animal pyramid's existence, as it's actually a reference to the Brothers Grimm folktale, The Town Musicians of Bremen, which tells the story of 4 animals who, having been mistreated for years, decide to leave their owners and become musicians. Now in most games, a turret is a turret, but in Portal, a turret is a misunderstood being that has feelings. I mean, even when you pick one up, it will politely ask you to put it down.
Please put me down.
But here's where things get really sad. If you place one turret in front of another so they end up shooting each other whilst trying to shoot you, this happens.
Activated. It's me!
So instead of just taking the bullets, the turret actually begs its friend to stop, even crying, "It's me." For a machine that's only supposed to guard a hallway, it's a surprisingly touching moment. So that's it. Like I said, apparently YouTube doesn't always like these videos, so let's annoy it together by sharing it far and wide. Hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.